Yo, what's up? I'm here with the smallest content creator. We got our big boy pants on, and we're here to address some allegations for our favorite purple lady, Jien. Ever since her remarkable debut, the Jien fanbase has been keeping their mouths shut, realizing that they may be defending a character without any hope for redemption. But now, with the release of the recent chapters, our consciousness is clear, more clear than ever before.
Objection!
Shut the fuck up with this villain defense bullshit. I'm so tired of the Nikke community coming up with excuses for obviously evil characters. Making deals with Jien is like making deals with the devil.
What is bro yapping about now? Anyway.
The first point people like to mention when demonizing Jien is the fact that she turned Uni into a chimera. But what they don't tell you is the fact that she completely brought it upon herself. Let's not forget she, almost murdered a CEO who's also her sister. Like seeing it or not, the attempted murder of one of the heads of the big three is already grounds for termination, or a mind wipe at the very least, and it's not like Uni can even get memory wipe because she took Vapa's.
If that isn't enough, there's also the fact that she sabotaged a broadcast, intentionally baiting people to get out of their shelters, which inevitably killed a lot of innocent people. I would like to also mention the fact that before this, there were no human casualties. So, it's probably safe to say that most, if not all, of the casualties on that day were caused by her single-handedly.
And let's be real here, this fate is arguably better than life in rehab or getting terminated off the bat. In fact, I feel like she's happier now more than ever. She gets to go out and do the things that Wardress Squad was made to do in the first place. Was making her unable to speak unnecessary? Probably not, but again, she did try to kill Jien's sister, so justifiable crash out.
Okay, fine. Uni's was justifiable, but what about the other Nikkes she practiced us on? This isn't the first time she did rapture experiments on Nikkes. In fact, that's the same thing Red Shoes did, right? So, what you're saying is, she's no better than Red Shoes then.
The way that Jien and Red Shoes did it was totally different. Jien only experimented on Nikkes that were right about to be scrapped, so it's not like there was much harm done, as either way they were going to be trashed regardless. Which is why Jien didn't do anything to Metis, as they got healed later down the line.
Red Shoes was different, as she did it with anyone, and even went as far as to help refine the corruption code with the raptures and corrupting Cinderella, which led to humanity's defeat. She was totally okay with betraying her closest friends to accomplish her goal. But there is yet to be a single instance where Jien has betrayed anyone. And no, not telling Mori what the black box would do doesn't count. And it's not like they were friends to begin with anyway.
Let's not forget the intent and motives behind these two. Red Shoes wanted unity through total rapture control, while Jien has humanity's best interest in mind, with stuff like giving a rapture core to power Mihara and having a hand in our creation. More on that later.
Well, what about Mori? She was forced to go and put a calling signal on Uni, which almost ended up fucking up everything.
If we look at the story, Mori was going to be scrapped next and Jien gave her an out, which was ultimately supposed to benefit Mori. Jien didn't know Mori was going to be eaten by gluttony, but Jien makes it up later in the same event story and more.
If it wasn't for Jien, we wouldn't have gotten Mihara Alter, one of the best and sexiest glow-ups in the game, especially since it got rid of the giant lab coat hiding her giant ass. And we might... You're not supposed to laugh there. No, it's fine. Leave this in. And we might get a possible Uni Alter in the future. Anyway, utilizing deep technology and a rapture core, Mihara became much stronger, which was one of, if not the biggest key factors in defeating Gluttony and rescuing Siren in the end.
This also led to Old Tales, the strongest squad in the surface currently, adding Mori into their group and promising to train her as well. Which is great because Mori had nothing going on for her in the arc anyway. So honestly, this was an absolute win for everybody if we look at the results. But some may say Mihara got looped into experiments, but honestly, are we forgetting that this is Mihara we're talking about?
Mihara's new upgrade makes her able to withstand any and all types of pain, and let's not forget, she's into that kind of thing. In fact, I'm pretty sure Uni choking her was one of the best moments of her life. Also, Jien wants Mihara to report to her on any new finding, but honestly, it's very lax. We didn't see any interaction between Mihara and Jien in chapter 43 and 44. It's almost like a, Hey, please just let me know if anything comes up. Otherwise, go and have a blast and try to live.
Most importantly, she had a hand in our creation. We were the seventh, so 6 other people must have met their ends to make us. Are you gonna really blame her for that? She isn't really perfect, and in fact, we use the abilities from that experiment a lot nowadays. And on top of all that, this ability is going to be pivotal later on if we want a shot at reclaiming the surface. Sure, things she did must have been bad to an extent, but it's always been out of an act of good. And even then, we use the fruits of her efforts, so it's kind of hypocritical for us to judge.
What's even crazier is that the latest chapters shoot a hole through Jien's villainous reputation. She went from being the mysterious, probably evil, up to no good lady to the flustered caretaker for a member of Counters. Though reluctant, she agrees with Ether that there's no other option than to spill the beans about the D.E.E.P project, one of the biggest kept secrets in the arc. Obviously, the red glasses was a huge factor in this consideration, and the fact that hurting a member of Counters would result in a fury of bad luck.
Jien, for the first time in the story, was clearly left with no other choice. Neon was so much of a wildcard existence that Jien had to play the good mother, that she secretly is, let's be real, to move things along. Sure, you can argue that this isn't concrete evidence for a good Samaritan, since she was forced and the research resulting from Neon would have greatly outweighed the cost of helping her out. But it doesn't change the fact that she changed Neon's life for the better, and indirectly saved the arc from the E2 crystal attack.
The real question lies in how much she cares if this information gets in the hands of the commander. I can't imagine the "I'm actually a spy" Neon is going to keep her mouth shut about her past, including the mystery of D.E.E.P and the end of Princess, which includes all of VTC's history. I guess that question won't be answered until we figure out for what purpose the commander was created for. We don't even know how he was created. We have some ideas, especially with the Mechanical Messiah project or Project AD, but those are all speculations at this point. Time and time again, schizotheories gets proven mostly wrong, so even if we feel like we're on the right track, the final destination is nowhere near in sight.
We also need to address on how well-rounded she is despite being a literal laboratory hermit. She complained in the past about how she's stuck in the MMR sectors, and it's true. She essentially devoted her entire life to experimentation and research for something we don't know. Yet her elegance and social expertise is outmatched by no one. She has a charm that even her little sister, who isn't subject to this depressing fate, could only dream of.
Unlike the other hermits like Label, she dresses nicely, speaks clearly, and monitors the commander in a more nurturing way. Label has her own charm, so I apologize for throwing shade. It's just that I'm surprised Jien has any charm at all. You'd expect someone holed up in the deepest part of a hermit society to be beyond saving, a hopeless sociopath. Yet, after the recent chapters, she's revealed to have a more human, vulnerable side, which raises the pecker. That's a good sentence.
Fucking top 10 sentences of all time.
Top 10 sayings right there.
This mystery only adds to the enjoyment of the character development process. Jien is one of those characters you're delighted to see on the screen, not just for the sheer eye candy, but how she'll grow later as a character. Will it be a truth bomb this time? What about the slip-ups that may or may not be staged?
A character like Jien is always welcome in any chapter. The more the better. Let the antis soil themselves in a pool of their own delusion as our lavender MILF continues to shine.
MILF? Are you fucking kidding me? Is this what that's all about? You fucking turn off your brain and you let your pants think for you?
Hey, all I'm trying to say is, Jien is a MILF, so she can put me in the crib first.
They're medicine man.